This deep dive, it takes us into, well, honestly, a really troubling legal battle.
Yeah.
One that pulls back the curtain on, the music industry and kind of forces us to confront this dark side of fame, power, all of that.
Definitely.
We're talking about singer Cassie Ventura's lawsuit against, well, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah, it's a case that I think, it goes way beyond just celebrity gossip and all that.
Right.
This is some serious stuff, touching on, really unsettling patterns of alleged abuse and control.
You shared a video with me that, it breaks down this complex case, so
Yeah.
let's dive into it.
Let's do it.
Cassie and Diddy's relationship, this goes back a ways, back to 2005.
Okay.
And this was a time when, she was an aspiring artist. He was already
Oh, yeah.
a major, major name in the industry.
And that power differential is key here, right? You've
Yeah.
got someone who's already established, a big player, right?
Yeah.
In what everyone knows is a really tough, cutthroat industry. And they're in a position to shape not just a young artist's career, but their whole world, potentially.
And that's what the lawsuit really seems to emphasize, right?
Yeah.
It paints this picture
Yeah.
of Diddy taking on this almost father figure role early on,
Okay.
which is especially unsettling given, everything that comes out later.
Yeah.
These accusations of abuse.
It's like textbook, almost how abusers leverage their position. You see this in a lot of industries, but particularly, I think, in music,
Yeah.
where it's all about who approves of you, that kind of thing.
And we're not talking about, just a fling that lasts a couple weeks or something,
This went on for a while.
This is over a decade, 2005 to 2018.
Wow.
And there are these weird public moments, too, where you look back and you're kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like Diddy's Beat Lifetime Achievement Award acceptance speech.
Okay.
He calls Cassie out. He thanks her for, and I quote, holding him down in the dark times. But then the lawsuit comes out, and it's like, well, wait a second.
It really flips the script. Yeah.
It totally changes how you view that.
Yeah, what's the lawsuit's take?
Well, it claims those dark times that he was talking about.
Yeah.
Those weren't just industry problems, normal career stuff.
Right.
It alleges that they were directly caused by Diddy's own behavior, his abusive behavior.
Wow.
The lawsuit claims that he subjected Cassie to this horrific cycle of violence, manipulation.
And even potentially what could be legally classified as sex trafficking, which is,
wow,
that's a whole other level.
It really is. So instead of offering, a safe, supportive environment.
Right, you would hope that's what it would be.
You would think.
Yeah.
It's alleged that Diddy created this situation where Cassie's, her hopes and her dreams and her vulnerabilities, honestly, they were just used against her.
And exploited, yeah.
The lawsuit, it gets into specifics about the alleged abuse. It outlines instances of physical violence, like straight-up beatings.
Wow.
Beatings that left her with injuries.
Gosh.
Requiring her to be, taken to hotels, hidden away so she could recover.
Kept out of sight.
Yeah.
It's disturbing how methodical it sounds.
And what I find really disturbing is how, allegedly, he used a combination of things.
What do you mean?
Well, he used gifts, he used access to his world, and even Cassie's own ambitions for her career.
Okay.
As both, a carrot and a stick.
Because she's stuck.
It's like he was holding her dreams hostage, basically saying, look, this is what you could have, but only if you do what I say.
Only if you stay with me.
Only if you stay under my control.
That's classic, though, creating both dependence and fear at the same time.
Yeah.
That's textbook abuser tactics. Keep the victim constantly off balance, doubting themselves.
Right.
That's how they maintain control.
And some of these details, man, it's really something.
Yeah, what else?
Well, there's this one part where Diddy allegedly discovers that Cassie's talking to another music manager about her career.
Makes sense.
And what's his reaction?
Yeah.
He allegedly physically assaults her.
Oh, gosh.
So severely that she needs medical attention.
Wow.
She had to be taken to a hotel to recover.
Just awful.
It's awful.
And that's just, one example?
Yeah, that's just one.
There's more.
The lawsuit outlines a whole bunch of instances of alleged physical abuse.
Okay.
And it's often triggered by, Diddy's possessiveness.
Right.
Jealousy, paranoia.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always even, directed at her.
Oh.
The lawsuit mentions a time where Diddy allegedly threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car.
What?
Because Cassie was, briefly romantically involved with him.
So he's going after other people, too.
Yeah.
It's like this,
It's scary.
This is rage that could just be unleashed on anyone.
Yeah, like a powder keg ready to go off.
Exactly.
And it wasn't just him.
What do you mean?
It wasn't just Diddy. According to the lawsuit, his entire network of people, his whole crew,
Oh, no.
they were in on it.
Wow.
They allegedly tracked her down when she tried to leave, pressured her to go back to him.
So she's surrounded, basically.
Like this whole system designed to keep her trapped.
And that's what makes it so insidious, so difficult to break free.
Yeah.
It's not just one person. It's like this whole web of enablers.
Yeah.
Whether they know it or not, they're part of it.
It's like, how do you even begin to escape that?
It's terrifying, honestly.
It really is. And it gets, well, the alleged abuse goes way beyond just like, physical intimidation, control, that kind of thing.
Oh, no, it gets worse.
Yeah, the lawsuit talks about these EPO encounters that Diddy allegedly forced her into.
EPO? What's that?
So EPO stands for emotional party on the side.
Emotional party?
Yeah, and it's a messed up euphemism, really, for what the lawsuit describes as Diddy forcing Cassie into having sex with male sex workers.
He wanted her to.
While he watched and filmed it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, really, really disturbing stuff.
That's beyond messed up.
It gets worse.
It does.
He allegedly, called this his fantasy.
Right.
And he even, directed these encounters.
What do you mean?
The lawsuit says that he required Cassie to, find these men herself through escort services.
Wow.
And he would give her, specific physical attributes that he wanted.
So this is beyond any kind of, open relationship or anything like that.
Absolutely. This is
This is control, manipulation.
Yeah, this is about power.
It's awful.
Yeah, and it sounds like, was this even consensual?
That's the thing. The lawsuit says that he used drugs.
Oh, no.
Intimidation and just, Cassie's fear of him.
Yeah.
To pressure her into doing these things.
So she's basically being coerced.
Yeah, that's really awful.
That's awful, yeah.
And you mentioned drugs, and that's actually a big part of this.
What do you mean?
The video alleges that Diddy got Cassie into this, really heavy drug scene.
Oh, providing her with everything, ecstasy, ketamine, the whole 9 yards.
And she's using regularly, you're saying?
Yeah, according to the lawsuit. She even, allegedly, was the one getting him prescription drugs.
Oh, wow. So he's drawing her into this whole lifestyle.
Exactly. And allegedly, if true, this was all very calculated, right?
I hope so.
It kept her in this vulnerable state.
Right, dependent on him. Yes.
Dependent on him. And also, the drugs, they impair your memory.
Of course, yeah.
So it would make it harder for her to, resist his advances.
And to remember, too, right?
Exactly.
Right. What even happened?
And the video mentions that Cassie actually began to experience memory loss.
Because of the drugs.
Well, she attributes it to both the alleged drug use and then also the abuse.
It's like this 1-2 punch where it's breaking her down mentally and physically at the same time.
It's awful. And it just shows you the kind of lasting damage that abuse can cause.
Absolutely. And it's not always, the physical stuff that's the worst.
Right.
It's this slow erosion of someone's sense of self, their agency, their ability to, even trust themselves. Yeah. That's what makes it so hard to break free. You start to doubt everything.
Right. And it wasn't just, physical and emotional control either.
Oh, there's more.
The lawsuit alleges that he had her finances.
Oh, wow.
Totally under his control.
What do you mean?
He managed all her money.
Okay.
Had access to her medical records.
What?
He even, get this, he was receiving emails that detailed her daily activities.
So he knows where she is all the time.
All the time. It's classic.
Classic abuser tactic.
Classic abuser tactic, exactly.
Cut them off, make them reliant on you, and then you can control them.
Exactly, yeah. It's really scary. And the video really emphasizes just how hard it was for her to break free.
I bet.
She would, try to leave, and then his people would find her.
Oh, gosh.
And they would, remind her of what would happen if she didn't come back.
It's like she can't escape.
It's awful.
And this wasn't even, just him doing this directly, right?
Right.
It was this whole network of people around him who are enabling this behavior, whether they knew it or not.
It's like, what do you even do?
Yeah.
How do you even begin to dismantle that?
And you start to understand why someone would feel so trapped, so powerless.
It's heartbreaking. And then in 2018, the lawsuit alleges that Diddy raped Cassie.
What? At her home?
Yeah, at her home. She claims that it was supposed to be like a final breakup conversation.
Oh, gosh.
And it turned into this, just a nightmare. I mean, it's just, you think about everything she went through, and then to
Yeah.
try to leave, and this is what she has to deal with.
It's like it just shows you abuse. It doesn't really follow a
Right. Yeah.
script, It can explode at any time. And
Mhm.
especially when, someone tries to leave,
Right.
that's when it can get really dangerous because the abuser feels like they're losing control.
Absolutely.
And I think this part of her story,
Yep.
it highlights how important it is to believe survivors.
Yes.
No judgment, just support.
So important.
Yeah, and the fact that she's doing this, that she's taking legal action,
Yeah,
it's huge.
it really is.
She's breaking the silence.
Yeah.
She's demanding accountability.
And she's not just doing it for herself, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the video mentions that, yeah, she's seeking damages
Okay.
for everything that she's been through, but
Right.
she's also suing under federal sex trafficking laws,
Oh, wow. Okay.
which is huge.
That's huge. Yeah. What does that mean exactly?
It means that this case could have
Okay.
a much bigger impact
Okay.
than just on Cassie's situation, right?
Okay.
It could set a precedent for how these situations
Mhm.
involving abuse in the entertainment industry,
Yeah.
how those are handled legally.
I could give others the power to come forward. Maybe.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it's a really big deal.
It is.
And of course, we do have to acknowledge that, this is a legal battle.
Right.
There are two sides.
Of course.
The video mentions that Diddy's attorney denies everything,
Okay.
calls the allegations baseless.
Right. And that's important to remember.
It-
He's innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
So we have to let the legal process play out.
We do, but regardless of what happens,
Yeah.
I think Cassie's story, it really makes you think.
No.
Well, it makes you think about your own experiences,
Okay.
the people around you.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen someone use their position of power to,
No.
like,
Yeah.
pressure someone, manipulate them even?
Right. Have we done it ourselves even?
It's a good question.
It's something to think about.
It is. And this whole thing, it's a reminder
Mm.
that abuse can happen anywhere,
Yeah.
even in these glamorous industries behind the scenes.
Absolutely. And it thrives on silence.
It does.
So we have to talk about it.
We do.
We have to educate ourselves
Yeah.
about power, about control, about what abuse really looks like.
Because if we can recognize it,
Yeah.
if we can listen to survivors, then maybe
Yeah.
we can start to change things.
We can create a better world, a safer world.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Me too.
Well, this has been a lot.
It has.
A lot to process, but so important.
Yeah, I agree.
So thank you
Thank you for having me.
for taking this deep dive with me.
Of course, anytime.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us for this deep dive. And let's keep this conversation going.